Hi guys, Punix here, finally coming out with another solo trial video. This time it's about the challenge of damage ground-based arc. So this week's challenge is played on Hidden Bunker. That's by far the best option as a solo player because you only need to be in a red circled area because all Bombardiers and Bastions spawn in there and you have 40 instead of the usual 30 minutes. Just to take note, Stellar Montes Knight as well as Spaceport Knight have higher point ceilings. So if you're looking for the absolute maximum points, probably these maps are preferred. However, this will be really difficult as a solo player as you will need to move around much more and might miss spawns and whatnot. And therefore, Hidden Bunker is for sure the easiest and most consistent to get high points as a solo player. So before we go into the gameplay, let's quickly talk about spawns and extract, as this is here highly dependent. You need to have a very good spawn to initiate the first killing and therefore later respawns as soon as possible. Obviously, the one marked here in fat green at fuel processing and on the east side of fuel lines, they are preferred. Fuel processing is the god spawn here. The ones at water tower and close and between departure and arrival might work as well, but they are not as preferred. Extract, there is one directly next to the departure building. This is the god extract you can get here, and the one next to control tower might work. All other extracts and all other spawns are a reset, as it will take you way too long to get there or way too long to get out of the map. So let's go quickly over my loadout. It's a bit similar to the solo damage bastion challenge. However, in this area here, there's no rocketeer around, so I can solely focus on the ground-based arc. Therefore, you see a lot of trailblazers here, 14 stacks to be exact. Maybe you could even bring 15 or 16, but 14 here was really my max I went for. Some heals, only 5 shield rechargers, and 6 zip lines and a little bit of hullcracker ammo and a little bit of medium ammo. The reasoning behind that, you could even go slightly low on ammo. You see I only bring 6 in one slot, 6 hullcracker ammo. This you could either stack completely or completely get rid of it. That was like a minimum compromise I did here between still having a bit more safety, but also don't want to overcommit here, whatever, because the Bombardiers will give you hullcracker ammo as well as you can loot medium ammo off of them as well as from the Bastions and Hornets that you kill. So you don't need to bring that much ammo. 6 zip lines to move around quick, connect to your extracts. Of course, some adrenaline shots, a little bit of heals, more heals. Only 5 shield rechargers because you still can loot the big arc power cells that you can convert into the smaller ones that then also function as a small shield recharge. And you see me here spawning behind Fuel Depot on the northern side, where I just said this spawn is a reset, and actually this still holds true. However, every good rule needs to be broken, right? And I had already 10 resets before and I was a little bit tired of resetting again. So my thought process is I would move up towards Hidden Bunker area. And if the big arcs are already engaged or players are showing that they want to do this damage to them as well, I will reset. But if no one is doing them, then I will continue here, as usually besides resetting due to spawns, you also have to consider resetting due to other players doing the same challenge or damaging your arc, which will take away your points.
Don't shoot!
So I move up here and I mean I saw the Bombardier already from far away and I heard it. And I see that no one is engaging it. The good thing about having such a late spawn is that I know for sure at least no one is tryharding it, as they would already be here and engaged. I now walk around a little bit because I need to be a bit careful about the Bastion. I want to kill it as soon as possible, but I also need to be safe. The Bastion can kill you very quick, and here I have zero cover, or not a lot of cover. So I need to play a little safe, take my adrenaline that I don't get caught off guard, and then search for the Bastion. Here I see it, and it's a little low on the ground, so I opt to throw the Trailblazers. 3 at once. And that should kill it, yes. So usually you can kill the Bombardier with 2 Trailblazers and the Bastion with 3 Trailblazers. But you need to position them correctly, otherwise you will need more, and that will hurt you because you didn't bring that many Trailblazers. So, and now I'm moving up to the 3rd Bastion. So it's always 2 Bastions and 1 Bombardier that spawn in the first wave. And now it's basically off time. I have not much to do here besides setting up my zip lines to be quicker later when the respawns are happening, and to look for smaller ground arc like fireballs, ticks from the hidden bunker as soon as this gets opened, or maybe even look in the departure building. There can turrets spawn, but I think on hidden bunker they don't really spawn a lot. So but keep in mind that all these very small arc on the ground, they don't really give you many points. So it's not worth sacrificing any seconds on a Bastion or Bombardier. And you see me here struggling a little bit to connect the zip lines very nicely. Usually it's better to do that from the top, as from the bottom you cannot point it very good. And this terrain here was actually more tricky than I thought to connect all the zip lines. So this is definitely something I need to improve upon. And right here I get a disconnect, which is not a big deal, but I was still worried that there might be hornets, wasps, snitches spawn on me and killing me. So of course this is always a little bit of an iffy. And unfortunately this sometimes happens to me, especially when I record, as you might have seen in my damaged Rocketeer video, where I even missed an entire Rocketeer due to a disconnect. However, luckily I'm able to reconnect and I'm still alive. And I see a lot of people around waiting for the hidden bunker to get opened. And of course, within all this time, even though it took a few minutes, no big arc respawn, so that's not a huge issue. And I continue putting my zips down towards departure building or extract, but then I opt for, because my zip lines were not that great and I had only 2 left at this point, to rather connect them towards the extract here and be safe. So now here there's the second Bombardier spawning. I killed the Bombardier first, so that's expected, but also the Bombardiers usually spawn quicker than the Bastions on this map. So even if you kill the Bastion first, you probably have the Bombardier respawn first. And as you see, unfortunately a guy threw a wolf pack at it. Probably he was just scared to get shot by the Bombardier, because hidden bunker is not opened yet for the randoms here. And then I just let him know that he can save his wolf pack and I will kill it quickly anyway. Always good And I would always advise you to let people know what you're doing. Sometimes they listen to it and respect that and then leave you alone and leave the damage alone. Sometimes, of course, it can have the exact opposite effect that people are saying, well, that's not your Bombardier or whatnot, is there for everyone, and then they intentionally try to get as much damage in. But that can happen, and then worst case, you can also opt to PvP them. Now I quickly go into the hidden bunker as it was just opened to kill some small ground-based arc, but I know that it doesn't give a lot of points, and now I heard the Bastion outside, so I'll quickly go outside again to get the Bastion killed ASAP. So this Bastion got aggroed by someone extracting, which can be a blessing, but also because he's standing more still. But also, you saw him, it was already a bit late, so he started moving. I get damaged by my own Trailblazer. That also can happen if you don't move out quick enough. The most important thing is don't panic here. In this position, I'm safe from the Bastion. So I have a Hornet and a Wasp on me. That's something that can trigger a bit of panic when you are low, but just don't panic. Now I see the Bastion got stunned, is quite low, so I finish it off with the Hull Cracker because I already used 4 Trailblazers, which is not optimal. And this will take a bit more time. So this kill was definitely not clean at all, but luckily it's dead now. So now, since I'm close to the departure building and I just killed the Bastions, I know I have a little bit of time until the Bombardier respawns. I opt to go into the departure building to see if there is a turret up. Wanted to go in the bunker to check if fireballs and so on respawn, but I heard the Bastions, the Bombardier spawning, so go out again and kill it. So the second wave of Bastion respawns take quite a while here. That's a little bit unfortunate. So here it's already then clear that I will only get 8 Bastions total max. But now it finally respawned, so let's directly engage the Bastion. You unfortunately see an example on how to slowly kill a Bastion, as you saw me turning around because I expected it to be killed and now I need to Hullcracker it, and don't even kill it with my first full wave of Hullcracker shots. So what actually happened is that the third Trailblazer completely missed as the Bastion was moving, and the fourth Trailblazer I threw next to the Bastion so it didn't fully damage it. And now I still need more rounds of the Hullcracker, but I expected it to here die to a full wave. But I missed the last shot. I need to get to cover again to reload. And then finally it's killed. That took way too long and was not clean at all. In hindsight, I should have also not looted the Bombardier now because I knew that the other Bastion was still up. I should have immediately went to the other Bastion and then looted later. Now this Bastion, I know in my head already I have to ideally even use 2 Trailblazers or maybe 3, but definitely not more. So it has to be clean. So I'm throwing 2, but then I'm kind of in the open. The positioning was bad, so I had to throw a third one. I was hoping to stun him with 2, so then I could have opted for Hullcracker shots, but this didn't work.
Thank you anyway, thank you.
So due to my earlier failures on the Bastion where I needed to use more Trailblazers, I wanted to only use 2 Trailblazers, as you can kill the Bombardier with this. However, weren't positioned precisely, so it lived. And that's, as you saw, very dangerous as it starts bombarding you, and I took a lot of damage. Therefore, I needed to opt for a 3rd Trailblazer to keep me alive and not risk dying. Unfortunately, here I threw a 3rd Trailblazer, even though it wasn't strictly necessary. I didn't expect the Bastion to die in 2 Trailblazers. That would have been nice to save that Trailblazer. However, it is what it is. And now I know by looking at the time I have 5 minutes left, as Shani is also telling me, there will be very, very likely no Bastion spawns anymore, but I'm definitely still looking for a Bombardier spawn to round this, to end this round. So it's getting close to the end. The Bombardier hasn't spawned yet. I'm a little worried that it might not spawn in time, but only a little. I'm pretty sure that it will still spawn. So I'm moving over to the extract to hit the button at 2 or 3 seconds to give me then a little bit more time. And since I have all these zip lines up to actually where the Bombardier spawns, hopefully it spawns and then I can move quickly there. That's exactly what happens. I see it spawning now. I don't even use the zip lines. I quickly move up there. Kill it. I have exactly two Trailblazers left, so I have to do it with that. Unfortunately, I failed my snap hook, but that's not a big issue here. I have to throw the Trailblazers long range, which is a little bit risky, because you can fail them easier. But it's a clean kill here, and then let's get home and secure the points. So that's it. That was 49k on ground-based arc enemies. Would have been a 50k plus if this other guy wouldn't have thrown a wolf pack on one of the Bombardiers. But also my middle Bastion kills should have been cleaner. I could have kept more Trailblazers, saved a bit more time. And remember, my spawning location was not optimal. So there's definitely room for slight improvements here, but it's a very resource intense fight as you need tons of Trailblazers. But hopefully you liked it, and Let me know in the comments if you go for this challenge as well and how many points you got as a solo. Would be really interesting. With that, as always, have a good week of trials and see you in Speranza.